content featured on the Taylor Show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All stories discussed herein are based on alleged events and personal opinions. Nothing shared should be taken as fact or professional advice. Any viewpoints expressed are solely those of host and do not represent any business or organizations.
Hello, and welcome back to the Taylor Show. You guessed it, I'm your host. I'm Taylor Brooke, and today I'm joined with my little bestie, Stephanie. We call her my Gen Z correspondent these days because she's young and fun and hip. She knows what's going on. And we also have another guest today. She is proof that you can be both smart, funny, and beautiful. She is a lawyer and a model. Welcome to the show, Heather Reese.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I mentioned you are a model and a lawyer, which are two things that typically you don't see going hand in hand. Tell me, how did this happen for you?
So I went through a divorce 3 years ago, and I remember telling myself, like, I'm never going to let somebody else tell me no. I'm going to I'm going to advocate for what I want, and I'm going to shoot every shot, right? And I was like on Threads about 2 years ago, and somebody had posted Mal from Crusades of Curves. She's amazing. She changed my life. She was like, I'm looking for like an East Coast model. And I was like, hey girl, like, I'm not a formal model, but I'd love to be considered. And I remember she was like, send me a walking video. And I was at work that day, and it was like 6 a.m. I said to my paralegal at the time, I was like, film me walking down the hallway right now. Like, she asked for it. We need to send it to her right now. Like, just do it. And I did, and she was like, you're booked. And I've got to work with Crusades of Curves ever since. It's been amazing. And it was just like, for me, I wanted to show people that you can do like multiple things, right? In today's society, like, first of all, one income usually isn't enough. And then the other part of it is I wanted people to understand, like, lawyers are more than just one thing. Like, being a lawyer is my job, but it's not my whole life.
Exactly. And I think that's a common misconception. Steph, you were saying before this that that's what you were kind of scared of.
Yeah.
Like, just if you went to school to be a lawyer and you were a lawyer full time.
Yeah.
Like, so is that what made your decision kind of go?
You know, we were talking about this earlier. We both share a love of arguing. I've always had a passion for proving that I'm correct, whether I'm not, or that's debated, but I always love to fight for, what I believe in. And I remember thinking, okay, something I really want to do is go to law school. And I remember talking to a lot of lawyers and doing some research, and I had heard just kind of, they were telling me about the long hours and kind of like, you have to be really invested, I think, in what you're doing to put that much time in. And, I shout out to everybody who is a lawyer, but I realized quite quickly, I was like, do I want to, sometimes be 12 hours at the office just going through paperwork, And I think I kind of morphed that into my own podcast where I was like, I can find my creative side, but I can also still like take all those arguments that I have at home and kind of put it into something productive, if that makes sense. But I think on that front, what does a typical work day for you kind of look like? Because you are doing multiple things, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that like a lot of the old guard will tell you, you really do have to pick one thing. Like, the old guard hates to see somebody, like a lawyer, doing multiple things. They hate it. Like, they cannot stand it. It like sends shivers. Like, they want nothing to do with it. And I think like Gen Zs are really changing that mindset, which I love. Like, I love to be around Gen Z lawyers, Gen Z people in law school, because they do not, like, they say what they say. They don't care. They're posting what they're posting. And I love it. Like, I think it's opened the door for a lot of millennials like myself to be able to be like, all right, like, I'm not super extreme, but I'm also going to show you that I'm more than just this. Like, and they're doing it and they're fine. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I think it's definitely opening doors, but like, I will stand by the fact that a lot of the old guard isn't a big fan of it. And you kind of have to be accepting and knowing that, like, just knowing like you're going to piss a few people off. Like, I definitely do. And it is what it is. Like, my mindset is like, that I'm not meant for you, right? Like, if my existence upsets you, don't look for me, I guess. But my like normal day consists of like, I work at a firm in Center City, and it's like a boutique personal injury firm. And, I work on cases all day, and then I go home and I do social media. And if I'm lucky, I'll go the weekend, I'll go to New York. I'll talk to some of my friends. We'll do some photo shoots. So it's definitely a bit chaotic, but I think that doing those things outside of law helped fill my cup to want to come back and be an amazing lawyer.
I love that journey. And I use the big J. I never use the big J journey, but I digress. So, on that point and that topic there, because we talk a lot about this on the podcast about walking into rooms that women typically aren't promoted and we're not typically, oh, Taylor belongs there, Heather belongs there, Steph belongs there. Just with your background, you are in like entertainment, modeling, like that portion, and you're a lawyer. So you said you have those two sides of you. Do you ever walk into the courtroom and you're like, yeah, these men or these other women, they're totally judging me by the way I look right now. Like I am put together, I'm beautiful, and somehow like that's not translating well into like the career, like what I'm doing.
Yeah, like I mean, I think a lot of the time, right? Like I can give you the perfect example. I just went to court like 2 weeks ago, and I was the only person in a colored blazer. Like I remember looking around, and I was wearing this red blazer, and everyone else is in all black, like just black and gray. And I was like, that'll never be me, man. That's just not really my vibe. Like there's always going to be a pop of color, and I think like it turns some people off, but then other people are like, damn, like I now that she did that, I think I can do it. Like I have the courage. And there are so many amazing female attorneys that are out here on social media that are pushing that narrative as well, right? And I think for me, fashion has always been a way for me to express myself. And I've always been in rooms that people didn't want me in. Like I think that that's not a foreign concept to me, even outside of the law, especially walking in a plus size body. Like a lot of people have preconceived notions of you, right? A lot of people look at you differently. And I think being plus size in a professional field like the law, and then on top of it, like being bold, people are definitely look at me in a way that they're like, ooh. But then there's so many other people that are championing for me and that are advocating. And there's so many clients that are like, wait, I actually want you to be my lawyer because you slay. Like, I love you. Like, you're amazing. And I've gotten a lot of cases that way from people seeing me in modeling and all these other things. So for me, it's like, I've just come to the realization that I'm never going to make everybody happy. And I quite frankly don't care. Like, the people that I make happy are the people that I'm meant to make happy.
Yes, I love that so much. Here at Taylor Brook Media, our legal team, Casey, shout out, she is very similar to you in the way of she's eccentric. She doesn't care what people think about her, and she's so passionate just about what she does. And like from the entertainer side of it and the media landscape of it all, for me, it was so hard to find legal representation that took me seriously. Like I would go into law offices and I'd be like, this is my company. This is like what I'm building. This is my podcast. And these men would look at me like, so you really, really want to trademark Taylor, Taylor, Taylor? And I'm like, okay, why are you judging me? Like I'm trying to make my coin too. So it really took a lot of like logistics and steps forward for me to find like a female attorney that I felt comfortable with and that would represent me well when I wasn't in the room, if that makes sense. And that's like what you're giving. Like you're there for your clients, like they're
I know,
your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I think there are like the good thing about being a female in this field is that there is so many groups that are helping other women. Like there's this amazing woman, Betty, who runs this women's conference called Women in Leadership. And it's an amazing conference that hosts women from all around the world in New Orleans. And it brings women in all of these amazing spaces. And you get to be like engulfed and lifted and like just in the presence of people that you never thought you'd be in the presence of, that you're like, okay, wow, like now I know if somebody says to me like, hey, I need a trademark attorney, I know a female trademark attorney I can send them to. Hey, I need a criminal attorney, I know a female criminal attorney. Like you get to build your circle too, and you get to give back and like make sure that you're pushing it forward. Because for me, the biggest thing is about pushing it forward to the next female attorney, because there's just not enough of us, especially for me as like a Latina attorney. There's definitely not enough of us, and I want to do what I can to help all of us, kind of win in this.
That makes so much sense. And I'm so glad that you're on the podcast talking about this now because I feel like a lot of the listeners, a lot of the little gremlins will be sliding in your DMs and asking you, hey, do you want to talk chat? And I have some questions. I think I'm getting sued for defamation. I need a person. So outside of law, we talk about you and modeling. And you say you go up to New York and you do shoots with your friends. When you think about that and that portion of your career and your life, what has been the most hinge me moment so far for you?
Oh my gosh. I think the first time I walked a runway, so the first runway that I walked was Crusades of Curves, and it was their Philadelphia show. And it was just because I had never been in that space. I had never been around other models. You know, you hear things like I definitely watched like America's Next Top Model. I didn't know what to expect. And the group of women that Crusades of Curves work with and kind of curate is just these amazing group of women that were all willing to help me and all willing to explain things to me. And like I met this amazing girl, Amanda. She's a New York model, and she was like, "Let me show you how to walk. Like, let me help you." Because like here I am, like just fresh out of work, like in my like suit, like I'm like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like I don't know what a slick back bun is. Like what are we talking about? And I'm like panicking because I'm like all these girls can walk, they can strut, they know what to do, like they know the poses. And she like helped me with it. And for me, like I remember I made a huge reel of it all because like I got to wear these amazing dresses. And it was like to the Hillary Duff, "This is what dreams are made of." Because I'm like, this is that moment for me. Like this is the moment that
Yeah.
I've been waiting my entire life for. And every time I walk down a runway, I think of that exact same thing. Like I just did one for Viva Voce, which was the New York pop-up. And that time I got to wear stuff that like felt a little bit more legal to me. Like I was wearing like a jacket and a skirt, and like it gave kind of like an Elle Woods vibe. Like it was very like something I could wear to work actually. And I was like, this is even better because it's like me encompassing on a runway. And it was amazing. It was like such a good time. So I would say anytime I get to walk a runway always makes me like just uplifted.
Something that someone told me, I'm very short. You can't tell from the screen, but I'm like 5 foot on a good day. And so in middle school, I got to walk like a runway show. And the one thing that they said beforehand, it was like a school event. The woman who had done pageants her whole life and she was in modeling, she said the one thing that everyone says after they walk the runway is, "I wish I got to do it one more time," because I was so nervous. I didn't remember like what it was like. Is that true? Like when you're doing it professionally, not just, yeah.
100%. I remember the last runway I walked, like my heel, the part of my sandal came off of my heel, and I'm like trying to walk back, but also like eat while walking back and look good. And I'm like, I gotta hold this sandal on. I gotta hold this sandal on. And I remember walking once I got all the way back, being like, gosh, I wish I had like worn different shoes. Like, and I also wish I could have just like experienced this moment of getting to walk down, being surrounded by all these amazing people from New York and from Philly and from wherever they traveled in from, that were all just experiencing this like clothing lines that all embrace different sizes, right? Because it wasn't just all plus size. It you know, the big thing about that show, that store, that pop-up, was that it went from like traditional sizing to plus sizing. So it wasn't just that. So for me, it was like, I just feel like I wish I could have done it different. Like I would have wore different shoes. But I think it's also just the high you get from walking down. You're like, I need that again.
That completely makes sense. Also, the Viva Dolce show, I was this close to going, but I had an interview that day, and I'd seen that you posted. I was like, oh my God, I would have gotten to meet Heather. Like, I felt like you were my parasocial bestie. It's like, so close. So close.
I love that. It was such a good time. It was such a good time. They do such a good show. They really do.
So you go to New York often, from what I see on your socials. Is there a favorite part of the city that you have? For me, it's Soho. I love Soho. I love being in that culture. But what's your favorite part? Town.
Yeah, you know, it's my heart is torn because I love Midtown. Like I'm a huge Midtown girly, but my sister lives in Brooklyn, and I
Yep.
get to visit her in Brooklyn a lot. And Viva Voce was in Brooklyn, and then there's also amazing thrift stores. There's a store called Plus Brooklyn, which is like a plus size, a vintage consignment store, and like I love that. Like I'm obsessed with that. So I would say like there's a lot of really good vibes in Brooklyn that I like.
Have you been to Soft Bar Cafe in Brooklyn yet?
No, what is it?
It's a alcohol-free bar, so it's like based on good vibes is like the whole catalyst of the place, and all the drinks are made to look like legitimate cocktails, but they have good stuff for you in there, so it like rehydrates you and like you leave feeling not terrible about, you know, yourself and your body. It's actually pretty cool. But yeah, that's like I just went there recently to, and it was like a opening night, and I was walking around Brooklyn and I haven't been there in years, and just how much fun Brooklyn is. Like, we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, no, it's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. Like, I mean, like I said, I'll always be like a Midtown girl. I will always love that. But I'm just like such a huge fan of Brooklyn. I think the food that's there, I think the vibes that are there, the art that's there, like it's an energy.
It totally is. So, for my listeners, we like to on the show definitely go into like if you were 15, 14, 16 years old and you're listening to this and someone's looking and they're like, "Oh my God, Heather seems so cool. I'm never going to be that cool. I'm never going to be a lawyer and a model." Like, do you have any advice that you would want to give like little you or like these future creators?
Yeah, I mean, I would say my biggest thing is shoot every shot. Let somebody else tell you no. Because I think there are so many times where we often count ourselves out. And I think that you would be surprised how many people are willing to say yes to you when you just put yourself out there. I've met hundreds of people through social media, especially through Threads. I'm a huge fan of Threads. And I've gotten to meet business people from all around the world when I did my series promoting BIPOC-owned businesses. And it really was like, for me, I just was like, I have this idea, I'm going to shoot it, I'm going to see what happens. And I think that's my best advice is let somebody else tell you no. So like, don't ever count yourself out. Just try it. Be delusional and everything.
I love that so much. I love when people promote being, I always, it's funny that you say that because I always say that you should be realistic, but there always needs to be a slight element of delusion because you never know until you try. And the worst thing that can happen is they say no, right? But at least you can look back and be like, okay, but I put myself out there and I did something. And kind of on that front, do you think that kind of throwing yourself into this modeling thing for the first time, has that changed your perspective on law at all or kind of like helped you to, even enter rooms more confidently and try out new techniques that maybe you didn't before?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the law and modeling have some things in common, like timing. Like a lot of the times, like when you're booking for a shoot or you're doing a shoot, like timing matters. Like people value time. And I think that's the big thing with law too. Like you're given deadlines, you're given this is what it is. You better get this stuff done in time. And I think I've learned to appreciate timelines more. I think also for me, the aspect that modeling has brought to me is like a not that I wasn't confident before, because like I was confident, but it was just a new wave of confidence that came over because it was like, all right, I'm confident in the way that I look and the way that I feel, but this is also a new confident in the way that I move, right? In the way that people want to work with me or somebody wants to do something with me. It's like also just the like I became more confident in the vibes that I'm able to bring to a situation. And also like being able to help people on multiple levels, right? So I would say a lot of the things that I've changed about being a lawyer are things that were just things I didn't learn at like being a baby lawyer, right? Like, when you're a baby lawyer, you're overthinking everything, you're like second guessing things. And I think that wave of confidence that I got brought back into when I went into modeling was just more so like, I'm going to stand 10 toes down. Like, this is what it is. Like, I know what I know and that's what it is. And if I don't know it, I'm going to ask somebody, but became more confident in my stances on things.
That makes a lot of sense. So you mentioned you were married, no longer married. Are you single?
No, I'm remarried. No, I'm remarried. Yes. I got married in August last year. Thank you. Thank you. This girl does not stay single for long. No, I met the love of my life 2 years ago, right after my divorce, in the process of my divorce. And he's like the greatest guy. He wears my face on a shirt at, all my runway shows and all my speaking events. And, it's crazy because you always, you date people and you don't realize like the kind of love that is really out there. And it's like the perfect example is like I just said to my husband, I was like, oh man, I really want like a Whopper, which is crazy, which is so random. And he literally had a Whopper sent to my office. And I'm like, that's it, man. That's like the kind of love I needed, right? Send me the food that I just casually brought up.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, like it's been wild. It's been a wild ride. But yeah, no, I'm very grateful. And I'm glad that I got to find my, true love later on.
So the reason I ask is, do you think that being so accomplished as you are, Do you think it was difficult for you to get back into the dating world after your first marriage? Like, were boys intimidated, like, to come up to you and talk to you? Stephanie runs into that a lot. So that's why I'm asking.
She's lying. That
He's trash. Oh my gosh. Like because I had been married, I had met my ex-husband when I was 17 years old, and I got divorced when I was 32. So like I had no concept of like online dating or like casual dating or anything like that. So like it was definitely a different experience because I also like I used to remember always say like the standards are in the subway. Like they're not even on the floor, they're in the subway. And because I felt like that's how all of my friends had standards. Like it was so low. They're like, oh, he like paid for my food or he got me flowers. I'm like, what do you mean? Like that's basic. Like I realized how much I put into my right. It's in the subway, and I was like, I realized that I put so much effort into my first marriage, and I was like, somebody is gonna treat me like this. This is what I expect because this is what I was able to give to somebody. And I think like it was tough because I have very strict standards when I date. And I think people didn't love that. Like men didn't love that. Like I'm not a situationship kind of gal. Like I'm not gonna be your situationship for like more than 2 months. Like if I don't have a title in 3 months, like I used to say, like it's like a Netflix subscription. You get 90 days, and like if I'm not your girlfriend or boyfriend, I'm out.
I love that. We were most recently we had a meeting with a potential sponsor of the show, and it was us and our lawyer. And the guy was single, and so is our lawyer. And the way that he was flirting with her, he was like flirting with her in corporate. Like she's like, "This is what I think, like law-wise." And then he was like, "So like you got Roth investments? You got a 401k?" I was like, "Ew, is this how men are trying to like what is happening?"
I'm gonna be sick.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's shocking. I think the audacity has changed. Like, I would never have imagined men talking to me the way that they talked to me when I was single, right? Like, when I was single and I was fresh dating, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was like, I can't believe you just said that to me. Like, does your mother know you talk like this? Like, what are you doing? Like, that's crazy. Like we just matched on Hinge, and you're just talking crazy. No way, absolutely not. Like, and that was definitely shocking for me. But again, like I think I'm pretty strict. I think a lot of men didn't like it because I am very outspoken, and not only that, a lot of the times the men that I was dating, we were in different like financial tiers. So I think that always was a complicated thing because a lot of men didn't love that, right? Like they're used to being like dating whoever who makes whatever amount, and I may or may not have made more, and like I'm not insecure about money, so I'm like, no, I don't mind like buying this for myself or doing whatever if like that's not what you want to do. Like I want to experience it this way, and if you don't want to experience it, like do you. But like I'm not changing my standards for how I'm gonna experience something because it's not something that you can do. Like that's fine. Like I'm not gonna make you feel bad about it, but like I think a lot of men were intimidated by that and didn't love that. But I also met some really great guys, so like I'm not here to shade all men. I definitely don't like men for the most part, but I would say like, it was definitely rough dating online.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Like when Hinge first came out, it was like the app designed to be deleted, and like everybody and their brother was on it. Oh my gosh, so much. And like to the point of like what you said, being in a different financial spot than a significant other, the amount of times that I've noticed that bothers men more than bothers women is it's such a big discrepancy. So like I can see that. And I feel like a lot of my friends, like they deal with that same even in their marriages, they'll deal with that same kind of back and forth. And it's like, why can't the woman, be the breadwinner, quote unquote. Like, if you want to experience something, you should experience it how you want to. And that shouldn't be indicative of like who your partner is for sure. So can you tell us about a time, because we did talk about walking into rooms that women aren't typically welcome in, or maybe we don't have a big presence in to begin with. Is there one moment that sticks out to you of, wow, that was a crazy moment. They were so mean to me, but I showed them up and I was like, I'm going to stay here anyway.
Oh my gosh, there are so many, which is sad. But I think if you were to ask any other female lawyer, they would say there are so many too, right? Like we're conditioned to think like it's not like there should be a class in law school about like what it's like to be a female attorney, because I really think it is a different environment you're experiencing. It's a different and also being like whatever age you are if you're younger, right? So I've had a lot of people speak to me in ways that I'm just like ultimately shocked by. And what I like to do a lot of the times is I will repeat what somebody says back to them because I want them to rehear it. Or like I would say like, oh my God, you know, I can't believe you're like the same age as my dad. That's so crazy. You're like the same age as my dad. Because for me, that's a way to like bring it back when you have just said something really inappropriate to me. So I would say like that's probably the most wild things. I've had some inappropriate things said to me where I have to be like, that's so weird. Oh my God, you're the same age as my dad. That's so crazy. Did you guys go to school together maybe? And I think that like that resets the situation pretty well.
I can't wait to talk about that in therapy. I'm gonna tell my therapist. I'm gonna be like, so I learned this new trick that when someone's mean to me, I'm just gonna repeat what they said back until they realize it was mean.
Heather, can I be so honest? Would you say?
A lot of people get shocked by it. They're just like, because it's like they almost forgot that they said it, or they're so shocked that you called them out for saying it. I'm like, no. I just want to confirm, is this what you said, or did you mean something else? And they're like, what? And I'm like, no, that's what you said. But I feel like you probably meant something else. There's like no way that you meant that. Like that would be crazy. But if that is what you meant, let's just stand by it. Is that what you said? Is that what you meant? And then people are like, and they get so uncomfortable.
I love this so much. This is like my ideal conversation. Can I be so honest? I would be so afraid to go up against you in court. I feel like I would just give up. Like I just
I'd
would
be like, Your Honor, she slays.
I was Lillian and I'd be like, she clocked me. Like it's just not gonna work.
No, I it's funny too because like I have had to go up against so many female attorneys, and like some of which I'm really good friends with, because I have a lot of friends on the defense side, right? And it's like you have that moment where you're like, damn, she's really killing it though. Like she's eating me up in this argument, and I look dumb. And I'm like, you know what? Like it is what it is. Like this is this is the situation, guys. You know, because it's like I never want to like discredit someone else, but I also have to advocate for my client, right? That's my job. So I'm advocating for my client, but I'm like, damn, dude, she really ate me up. And like I'll definitely text my friend after and be like, yo, you really killed in that argument that we just had. I mean, I hate you. That was terrible. Don't ever do that to me again. But also like really proud of you as another female attorney, like super proud of you. But no, I've had and my friends will say the same thing. She's like, yo, I mean, like, I didn't think you were going to come up with that argument that came out of nowhere. And I'm like, didn't think I was going to either, but surprise us both, right? So yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting thing being in court and going against your friends. You're going against other people. I'm the same that I am here though in court. Like, I think that's the funny part.
Oh, that makes you so authentic, for sure. I think that would be a main reason why a lot of people would want to work with you because it's the same person.
Yep.
So a lot of people we know must look up to you. And I'm sure after this podcast episode drops, there's going to be more and more people that are like, Heather's so cool. Like I want to emulate that as I grow up, as I get older, in the next stage of my life. So when you think about your career and what you've done so far, even in your daily life, is there a certain person or group of people that you look up to that you're like, oh, this person I try to emulate, like whether it's Mel Robbins or Taylor Swift, or like who's your go-to person?
Oh my gosh. I feel like there are so many really great ones. I would say like really honestly, this sounds so cheesy, but like all of my friends. Like all of my friends that are out here, female attorneys killing it. I'm so proud of them. I'm so happy that we get to share a space, and I'm so inspired by them. I would say Betty, who runs the Will by Betty. I would say Mal, the woman who got my life into modeling. Those women inspire me constantly because they're just out here doing amazing things for groups of people that a lot of the time society discredits. Like it's like plus size models, you know, especially now with the new wave. Like we were really big into plus size models during COVID, and then now, you know, we've gone back to more so like skinny talk and like all of these other things where we're kind of like put on the back burner. So I would say women like Mao continuing to push for, you know, inclusion and diversity. And then I would say when it comes to Betty, just a kind of woman who is willing and able to make a room that is filled with such powerful women that are so inspiring, that are so amazing. I mean, there's so many female attorneys that I aspire to be like. Gina Zapata is one. She's an attorney in California. She's just so cool. There's, you know, Attorney Martinez, who is the like Legally Blonde attorney who does immigration law. So yeah, I mean, like it's such a hard thing because I can't pinpoint one person because they all are just, I'm inspired by all of them so heavily.
That's incredible. I'm so glad that we got a chance to sit down and talk today, and I cannot wait for my little gremlins to hear this and get to follow you and your career and your life. So tell me, where can they follow you? Where can everyone find you?
Yes, absolutely. You can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram is Heather_RXOXO. I'm a personal injury attorney in Philadelphia. So if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. If it's something else that you need, I know other attorneys that can help in other fields. I'm more than happy to help somebody along the way.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Heather. And we have to grab drinks soon. Next time I'm in the city, I'm texting you.
Absolutely. 100%. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. And we'll see you all next week.
Nice to meet you, Heather.